Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh my goodness, people. Oh my goodness. Angela, girl, who are you? Muhammad Ali, Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields. Angela's 2-0, y'all. She is 2-0. She has defeated Pinky in the reads, and now she has defeated Shamia. Shamia tried to get in a few good licks, but in the end, she had to wave the white flag and she had to leave the stage. She had to leave the stage. At this point, folks really need to stop trying Angela. They really need to stay out the ring with her because she's going to take you down. Kelly's running around talking about Portia ought to be careful because she can whoop her ass. Kelly, girl, Portia got a big ass, a really big ass, and you only 4'9". I actually think Portia could pick you up with her ass, with her butt cheeks. Okay, so this idea that you gonna beat Portia in a fight, no, you're not. All Portia got to do is sit on you, and then it's over. It's over. But they're still over here arguing about Kelly and Portia, about Kelly sleeping with a married man. And I thought, y'all, I heard Portia say that the married man was Nigerian. I might have heard it wrong, but I was like, not another Nigerian. Not what are the Nigerians doing over in Atlanta? But Kelly running around being a 4'9" tough girl, talking about chest up, nipples out. Girl, handle that husband of yours. Instead of running around here fighting with these women, handle that husband. That's where your real anger is. Your real anger is with that man that took half of that PPP money. That's where you really, really mad. But anyway, she said, you know what? Y'all don't know what I'm dealing with, the pain I'm dealing with. I'm going through a divorce. And, that's why I'm here taking out all this rage on you guys, misplaced anger. And she said, I can't even film with my kids. She said, things have been taken away from me. He ain't giving me child support. I can't film with my friends and make no extra money. Everybody's having problems getting along. K. Michelle talking about she don't get along with women. Well, K. Michelle, from what we hear, you don't get along with women or men. So we want to know, K. Michelle, who do you get along with? That's what I want to know. But K. Michelle, I'm telling you, it's something about when people are unhappy on the insides for whatever reasons. It just spews out of them because we could come to the belief that K. Michelle is really angry about Portia saying, oh, did you have a miscarriage? Or Portia's behavior. And Portia's behavior in some of those situations was not right. But you got to start looking at patterns and you got to say to yourself, if Portia were to remove herself, would K. Michelle still have problems with women? And the answer is yes. That's when you know it's not you. Doesn't mean you don't take accountability for the things that you may do, but that's when you know it's not you because people behave the same way. Those people behave the same way with other people. It's a them problem. It is a them problem. K. Michelle got a them problem. Now she's over here talking about Ralph Pittman's taco hair, telling Drew about Ralph Pittman's taco hair, calling Drew a huff face. Huh? If Drew is so beneath you and she ain't got no awards and no hit songs, I really don't know why K. Michelle spends so much energy on Drew. It's really, really care. Pinky was mad at these girls saying, y'all done messed up the whole evening. I didn't even get to eat my Was the entree vegan, Pinky? Was the entree vegan? But everyone is saying that, hey, when Portia isn't around all the other ladies, this is what Pinky is saying. Portia's different. She's actually likable. We like her. But it seems as if once she gets around the ladies, things go to hell in a handbasket. And maybe that's because Portia's doing what she needs to do to bring a good storyline to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said, Portia is a veteran of the show, and she knows how to bring the drama. I told you Portia is a chameleon in dating and everywhere. Portia knows how to adapt to her environment so that you really believe the story that you're seeing in front of you. So when you're with her alone, she's nice. You know, everyone's like, oh, Portia's really cool when she's not around the other ladies. But then when she gets in the Real Housewives and she's on cue, she's on camera, and she's here acting and she's here putting on a performance to keep her check coming in, she becomes a different person. That's what the men say. Hey, when you first meet Portia, she's this and that, but the next thing you know, she's another kind of way. Portia is a chameleon because what Portia is very, very good at is adapting to her environment to get out of the environment what she wants. That's what I keep saying. And she knows how to do that in various places, in relationships with men, women, on this show. She knows how to work the system. So get over it, people. She's good at it. You better learn her game. You better learn her game. But you know, she and K Michelle were going back and forth saying, when K Michelle had all these issues with her, why didn't she just call Portia and have a one-on-one conversation? Good point, Portia. That's a good point. Why didn't you call and just have a conversation with Portia, K Michelle? And K Michelle acts as if she don't want to kiss up to Portia, talking about K Michelle says, Portia, you don't run me and you don't run Atlanta. Where did that come from, K Michelle? Run Atlanta. Where did Portia ever say she ran Atlanta? Remember last time K Michelle was talking about all the mean ladies of Atlanta? I see dead people. K Michelle blows up situations. Whatever problem she's having with Portia, I've never heard Portia ever allude to the fact that I run this city. So where does K Michelle get these notions from? I say K Michelle's worst enemy is herself. It's the voices in her head. She's got to confront those voices. She's got to tell those voices to shut up. We all got voices in our head that tell us bad stuff, negative stuff, make us have low self-esteem, tell us we can't do things. But the problem becomes when you let those voices go wild and now all of a sudden those voices are speaking for you. K Michelle's voices are so loud in her head that right now we're not even listening to K Michelle. We listening to them voices in her head. But hey, y'all, we got to go over here to Shamia's house. And let me tell you something, y'all. When we got to Shamia's house and I looked at her mother, things started clicking with Shamia. All around town, everyone is saying Shamia doesn't have an identity. Shamia likes to run up behind Portia. People think Shamia was jealous of Portia. I don't think Shamia was jealous of Portia at all. I don't think it's jealousy. I think it's something else. And let me tell you where it clicked for me was when I saw Shamia's mom. Now, I had seen Shamia's mom before, right? But I didn't pay too much attention to it. But this time when they went over Shamia's mom's house, Mama had a three-piece suit on. Hair done to the nines, jewelry on, full makeup. And she said, y'all want to cook some grits in a three-piece suit with heels on and full-on jewelry and makeup? Mama, what's going on? What's going on? This is when I first started seeing Shamia in relationship to her mother. Her mother has the magnetic personality that all these other ladies that Shamia likes to sort of cling on to, right? Shamia admires that in women. And I think her admiration in a way, or you might call it her fandom of Portia, is because I think her mother had that personality. Now, what Shamia tells us about her mom is her mother is the nicest woman in the world. And I saw a video about Shamia's mom saying Shamia's mom was the it woman back in the day. She used to get fabulous parties. She used to entertain politicians, celebrities, stars, all those sorts of things. So Shamia grew up in a life that already was at least a middle class, upper middle class life, if not more. Right? And I think what Shamia grew up with was seeing this woman, this mother, who everyone admired, who everyone loved, who everyone adored, and who was the center of attraction in a lot of ways. And I think Shamia coveted it. So let me tell you the difference between being jealous and coveting something. I think the admiration and prestige and everything that Shamia's mother had, I believe Shamia coveted it. And she admires it in her mother, and she coveted it. And that's why I believe that she sometimes is drawn to these big personality events, environments, and people, because Shamia actually covets that. She wants it for herself. But here's the thing, when you look at Shamia and her sisters, they're all sort of like plain Jane. They're just plain Jane, nothing, not in a negative way, not bad, which means that mom had a lot of spotlight amongst her three girls. She had a lot of spotlight. So what did Shamia do probably as a young child? Fight for the spotlight. Probably even as a, when you think that Shamia is here fighting for the spotlight on Real Housewives of Atlanta or even in Portia's life, this is generational. Shamia has been fighting for the spotlight in her family and against her mother her whole life. So this whole thing with Portia is just par for the course. And honestly, I'm starting to see her doing it with Kelly. You see, Shamia said her mom is so positive, very, very positive speaking, very spiritual lady. So her mom does not lead with anger or bitterness or nastiness, but her mother just has that sparkle. Some people just have it. They don't have to really work hard. They don't have to be a mean girl. They could have this sort of spirit that just makes people want to be amongst them. And I think Shamia admired that in her mom. And I think she tried to emulate that and say, I want to be like my mom too. I want to be a nice person and do things for my friends and help people and do all these things. But yet I also want the shine like my mom had the shine. And I think what Shamia is finding is that she does not have that magnetic personality that her mom has. You can't buy it. You can't learn it. You can't earn it. And nothing's wrong with it. Everyone has their own talents. But Shamia needs to stop coveting other people's talents. Now, she and her mom were talking about how she was still very weary and afraid and nervous and sad over the fact that she's only got one male embryo left. You know, Shamia's mom had three girls. Shamia don't have no brothers. Her Shamia mom had three girls. So you talk about these sort of generational things. I know a man determines the sex of a baby, but when I look at Shamia's dad, he's sort of mild. He's sort of low key, just like Shamia's husband Gerald. When I look at her mom, like I said, has magnetic personality, is what Shamia desires. She has two girls now, Shamia. She is scared to try for a third because what she's saying is, I actually don't even want the chance that the third baby will come out with any sickness or illness like my other baby, right? I can't, point no fingers at Shamia. I don't think anybody hopes for a child, as she says, that might be your baby her whole life, if she will ever be able to care for herself fully. But there's a part of Shamia that I also believe that interferes with this sort of life she wants to be a star, right? And you can't really go off and live that life, right? Fabulous parties, fabulous vacations, being well known in circles of stars and celebrities when you have a sick child at home, right? I think it's already a problem with her current child. What she's saying is, I am fearful of another sick baby. More fearful than not having a boy. I'm fearful of another sick baby. I might have three girls just like my mother. But next thing we know, we see Portia riding around in the Bentley with Dennis. They still good friends, even when the baby Pilar ain't around. Dennis and Portia are still good friends, even when that child ain't around. So anybody coming into Portia's life, they're gonna absolutely have to deal with Dennis. And any woman in Dennis's life is going to have to deal with the fact that he is still in love with Portia. Sorry, lady, whoever's over there living with Dennis, you just going to have to accept it. But next thing we know, we see Drew at a meeting with 15 people. We say, who are these 15 people, Drew? Come to find out, Drew, it is her crew. It is her staff. Why the hell does Drew need 15 people on her staff? Drew is another person who wants this life. And so what she does is she wants the life and she's spending all this money. Now we know why Drew's broke. When they went through that divorce proceeding and Drew said that her net income was only $12,000 a month. And all of you were saying, that's got to be a lie. Drew has got to be making more than that on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She probably does. But once you look at her net income, after she's paid 15 people, she's broke. And why are you spending this much money on salaries? I'm not even saying she's employing 15 people full time. So these people in Atlanta, what are you guys working for, peanuts? How much money does Drew put in your pocket every single year? 20,000? But even with that, even if Drew is putting 20,000 into the pots of these 15 people, you're talking about her spending $300,000 a year on just surrounding herself with people so she can feel important. Drew's got problems. She's got real problems. But next thing you know, we was over at Phaedra's house, and Phaedra had her butler. Phaedra still got her butler. And Kelly showed up with her big boobs, and Phaedra was like, Kelly's boobs is like the sweet chariot. They hang low. Sweet low, sweet chariot. Ooh, they entered the room before the chariot. But they were reminiscing and talking about what was going on and how Portia had her finger all in Kelly's face. And then Kelly had her drink in her face. Kelly does drink a lot. Every time you see Kelly, she do have a big glass of wine. And she had one here talking with Phaedra too. She really did. But you know what I realized with Kelly? Kelly is a fan of Portia. She don't watch all the Real Housewives seasons because she was recalling all of Portia's lines. Let me tell you, it's not a read when you are regurgitating a line that Portia said, I don't know, 8 years ago. She was like, I'm a friend 365 days a year, not 265. Girl, that's weak. That is so weak. We all know that back in the day, Portia messed up how many days are in a year. But for you to bring it up here in 2026 tells me you a fan. You a fan. If you repeating something like that, come up with something original. Something original. It's really giving stalkerish behavior. It's almost like you secretly are a fan, but you hate that you a fan. Girl, you showed your card. You really showed your card. But she's talking to Phaedra, talking about she had a hard week. She's going through divorce. She can't film with her daughters. Her daughters are feeling like they're not good enough to film. Why would their daughter just tell them the truth? You can't film because your daddy won't let you. That's just crazy. Why would you let your daughters go around believing they're not good enough to film? No, just tell them the truth. No, you can't film because me and your daddy are going through a divorce, and he's preventing you from filming. Period. Point blank. If you want to film, go talk to him. Maybe you can convince him because he's not going to listen to anything I say because he's intent. He's intent on hurting me. He's intent on harming me and destroying me. So if you want to be able to film, you'll have to get permission from your father. So go over there and talk to him. Let children have grown conversations with their daddies, okay? Let them have them. Let them daddies stand up to their kids like they want to stand up to you. You know, Phaedra tried to warn her, listen, the men try to control you even when you're divorced. That's it. It's a control of you. So go ahead. Let them tell them kids to their face, no, you can't film. Then you'll see if he really do love them kids or not. Or is his hate for you stronger than his love for his kids? Get your answer, girl. Get your answer. Phaedra says she don't ever want to get married again. She just want a rich benefactor husband. And Kelly says, she doesn't know if she wants to get married, but right now she is satisfied with her man, Jarvis, Tony Starks, a.k.a. saying that he is a good prospect later on for marriage. But she gonna need to wait at least until her divorce is final. Do we believe this Jarvis Tony Starks wants to come out in public? I don't think so. I don't think he does, Kelly. I don't think he does. Later on, the gem that what's her name, Shamia drops is that she was the one that actually hooked up Kelly with this rich man. Shamia the kind of friend you want. Because she don't hook you up with broke people. She hooked you up with rich people. Because part of that whole thing with Portia going after Simon Guobadia, I believe part of it was also through Shamia. I think Shamia knew sort of really what was going on in that marriage because I think Simon Guobadia and her husband Gerald were friends. So I think she had inside information. And she gave that intel to her good friend, Portia, and said, girl, go over there and scoop you up a rich African. And Portia said, say no less. say no less. I got this, girl. I know exactly what I need to do. But Shamia is the kind of friend you want. You just can't be fucking up her gifts. She says she's nice, just like her mama. She come bearing gifts. Take the gifts and stop talking about the girl. But we got to go to a photo shoot with Pinky's little girl, who's so cute and full of personality. And she's going to be the official brand of some brands, some clothing brands. She was modeling. Come to find out, Pinky's mom was a headliner. She was a lead singer in a reggae band. So talent runs in her family, and that little girl was eating up that camera. She was a natural in front of that camera. Even Cynthia Bailey, with her high cheekbones, supermodel, Cynthia Bailey came over and gave that girl some tips. And that girl says, girl, I know how to work this. I know how to work this. But Michelle was going on talking to, everyone saying, Portia gives mean girl energy. Portia gives the energy she needs to give in the moment. It could be mean girl. It could be nice girl. It could be sexy vixen. Whatever energy Portia believes is needed in that moment with whomever she's dealing with, that's the energy she brings. She's a chameleon. This is why so many people have different perspectives of Portia. Portia's is really polarizing. She's a polarizing character because she actually has so many different personality types. And depending on when you see her or when you interact with her, everyone can come away with a different sort of opinion of Portia. That's why I don't get mad at the real big fans of Portia or people who believe Portia's not good, because I believe Portia's all those things that people say about Portia. She's all of them in one. She is a chameleon. But we still know that Angela and Shamia are not in a good place. And next thing you know, Shamia and Kelly, they wind up in the dental office. This is when we hear the story that Shamia hooked up Kelly with Jarvis. Because Kelly is in there saying she's getting a $70,000 smile. Where is Dr. Heavenly? Is Dr. Heavenly still running for Congress? Because I know Dr. Heavenly ain't charging $70,000 for no smile. Absolutely, because Dr. Heavenly is in the community. So the fact that Kelly is spending $70,000 on a smile, one, tells me, and that this man, Jarvis, is the one paying for it. I'm saying, wow, you're not a good steward of money, Kelly, because just because the man got it, should you spend that much money on your teeth? I guess she said, Shamia told her, listen, $70,000 for some teeth, you better put that mouth to good work. That's a whole lot of blowjobs, And Kelly said, this ain't nothing. I spent $200,000 on a divorce. That's a bad use of money too. Why, if you're in bankruptcy, do you need to spend $200,000 on a divorce? You ain't got no assets. You ain't got no money. I mean, geez, why would you spend? Kelly is horrible with money. Horrible. This is how you know how they got where they are, because I don't think she's good with money. But Shamia is the rich man, a matchmaker. She really is. And maybe her mama used to do this when she was young, when she was giving all those fabulous parties and what have you. But Jarvis Tony Starks told Kelly, you deserve it, girl. You deserve it. You deserve these $70,000 teeth. And next thing you know, they're leaving the dental office, and Shamia puts Kelly on her back and says she is her new bestie. See it right there? See, y'all think it was just Portia. I'm telling you, look at the pattern. It is her mother. It was Portia. And now it is Kelly. Because what Kelly is Kelly, once again, has that loud, upfront personality that Shamia likes that energy. Now, what Shamia has done for Kelly is the same thing she did with Portia. Hook her up with rich Africans, okay, or rich men. And now she's putting Kelly on her back like she's the bestie. So y'all keep saying Shamia was a puppy dog to Portia. What is it when you put a person on your back? That is, you like a horse. You let somebody ride on your back, and that's what Shamia does. That's what Shamia, because Shamia wants to be around that type of magnetic energy because she covets it. All the money in the world will not take away the desire to also have that magnetism that Shamia is attracted to. But, we get to see all the toxicity going on in Drew's life with her staff. She got a music producer, a photographer. Why do you have a regular photographer all day long running around taking pictures of you? For social media, you got a driver with it says also an assistant. You got a hairstylist, a stylist, a hairstylist, a regular stylist for your wardrobe, your makeup, a publicist, and then another assistant. All this to feel important, all this to feel as if you the next big breakout R&B singer. No wonder K. Michelle can't stand Drew. She can't stand it. Next thing you know, these folks was over there fussing and fighting. The wig stylist was calling the assistant lazy. People was calling each other double stuffed Oreos. This was ghetto. That's why I know she ain't paying them much, because they were unprofessional and ghetto. Honestly, none of them even looked like they did the jobs that they did. The music producer, the photographer, the hairstylist, none of them even looked like that they were skilled in their field, because it was ghetto, unprofessional, and they all looked horrible. And like the guy said, you look like a double stuffed Oreo. And next thing you know, Drew's crying, talking about, I may need to fire someone. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. But, in the end, Cynthia was able to put together a little luncheon with her Peaky Portia, K. Michelle. They all sit down because what they want is they want K. Michelle and Portia to squash it. Squash this stuff. And so K. Michelle said, yeah, I don't want to be fighting with Portia because she can beat my ass. No, what she can do is she can sit on you with that ass, and she can pick up you people with her ass and put you in between her butt cheeks. But next thing you know, K. Michelle owned up to the fact that, hey, you know what? You're right, Portia. I could have come and talked to you first. I didn't have to go to the streets first. So I will own that. And Portia said, just be careful what you're told. And she said, the reason why I said those things about Kelly was because I was getting my lick back. Portia's like, you're going to learn this game, K. Michelle. They saying you don't fit in. You don't fit into this group, but you better learn, and you better learn quickly. And you better learn that everything that I do is all for this check. Everything I do in life is for a check. I make a man think I like him for a check. I make a woman think I like him for a check. I have beef with women for a check. I make women think I like them for a check. Everything I do is for a check, Michelle, K. Michelle. So you better get it. You better get it. Next thing I know, K. Michelle said, yeah, we got 48 hours for a friend contract. There's another fan, K. Michelle. Why are we bringing up old lines of old housewives? I don't know. You're trying to act like you're not a fan of Real Housewives, but y'all don't watch every single episode. You know you have. Next thing I know, they talking about the scheme. Oh, here we go. The scheme of Todd. Oh my goodness. This is just such rinse and repeat. People who try to say that they're original, but yet they're bringing up all these old inferences from old cast members. Now we on to Candy and the scheme that Todd drew up. Now we got to talk about that. K. Michelle couldn't leave it alone. Next thing you know, she's telling the people, you said that my toes were long, but my toes are long. Well, if they long, shut the hell up. If your toes are long and people say your toes are long, just laugh along with them and keep it moving. Portia immediately said, yep, Drew does like to get tea on people, but I didn't look up nothing on you, K. Michelle. I didn't do no research on you. So if you want to believe that Drew is the biggest culprit, then go right ahead. And K. Michelle's basically saying, yeah, that's what I believe. And just when we thought it was going to be over, that's when we had the WWE fight between Shamia and Angela. And Shamia went down. She went down. It may not have been the full-on knockout like it was with Pinky, but it was a decisive decision. And in the end, Shamia waved the right flag. She left. She came in hot, telling the hostess, yeah, I'm here to meet a lady. The Sasquatch lady with the size 12 shoe. Unnecessary, Shamia. Really unnecessary. Shamia says, you're picking it on me. You're bullying me. And then Angela said, yeah, I got some discernment. I'm able to peep people out. And she said, well, use your discernment to sell some houses. Shamia called her Sasquatch. And Angela, as she always does, she sat there very calm, cool, and collected, says, girl, you're not even high enough on the Richter scale for you to be even a problem for me. That's right. I'm Sasquatch. I'm up here. I'm a giraffe. And you like a fly at the bottom of my foot, right? Basically, Shamia is saying, all I got to do, if I'm a giraffe, all I got to do is lift up my hind legs and kick you. And that's what she did. She kicked Shamia right on out of that restaurant and she went on. She told her, you a lap dog. Now you want to be like Candy. Now you want to be like Portia. Because Shamia likes to be around women who have that sort of magnetism, that bright light. She loves it. She really, really loves it. And I'm telling you, it's generational. It's generational. It comes from her mama. And in fact, I think that this sort of rift between her and Portia go back to even their parents. From what I hear, Portia's mom had a beauty salon, lost it, and Shamia's mom bought it in foreclosure. So Shamia and her mama, they got all the money. Portia and her mama try to use their looks and everything to get by, learning how to manipulate men to get things, learning how to work a crowd. And Shamia's mom went over there and bought it. From what I hear, that's what causes the rift. So like I said, even this little thing with Portia and Shamia, competition, low key, whatever you want to call it, it's generational because there's a part of Portia who also covets what Shamia has. There ain't no way anybody can tell me that Portia does not covet Shamia's life. She absolutely does. She absolutely does. Shamia's life with the money and all that is what Portia would want for herself, by herself, to be able to have a person that does that for her. So they both look at each other and admire things about them. But instead of staying in that place of admiration, which could be loving and caring, admiration is good, they dip over into coveting it, which then turns bad. But Shamia shimmied her way on out of there. And Angela had one last parting word for her. Go buy yourself another booty. Woo! This show is good, y'all. It is really, really good. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I will see y'all next week. Bye.